Hi, my name is Max. This is my PPD 3-minute video. I'm doing business management and entrepreneurship, which is a sandwich course, and I'm doing placement in my third year. In terms of how the course is going so far, I think it's going pretty well. I much prefer it to the course I was doing last year, which was just straight business management. I think this course is more well-rounded, better structured, and has more relation to what I want to do personally. In terms of how the year is going so far, I think it's going pretty well. I've got a good idea of the requirements in each module, and I think I'm keeping up to track with most of the workload. Something that I could do better probably is go through more of the external reading factors, but it's just quite hard to manage that with my part-time job and the kind of extracurricular things I do. Moving on to skill diagnostic tests, the Honey and Mumford diagnostic test was actually quite useful. It underlined a few things that I know about myself, but it's quite good to read that from an external perspective. So, for example, that I'm a physical learner. I learn through other people, watching other people do something, and then kind of replicating that or modeling that. Another one was that it also said that I take time to, or reflectors take time to decide on actions and tasks they're going to do. I didn't really agree with this as such. When I'm meant to make a decision, I like to make it quite fast because I don't really like to waste time like that. So if I'm unsure, then I normally just kind of pick one and go for it and see how it works out. So there was elements I agree with and elements that I didn't in that. But overall, I thought that was quite a helpful test. Lastly, the last thing it said was that I needed to take more risks, which is something that I definitely agree with, as that's quite important for any entrepreneur. The next one was the VART questionnaire. This was one that I didn't really find that helpful, as most of the answers were, well, my test scores were pretty much all exactly the same. I scored 8, 8, and 9 in visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. It did, however, say that I'm also a physical problem solver, which is something I agree in. It also did say that I like to observe the situation before I jump headfirst into it, which is, I definitely agree with that as well. But yeah, like I said, all the test scores are quite similar, so it was hard to distinguish what kind of path it was saying that I should aim to learn through. But yeah, moving on to my PDP goals. So I think this year I've got a much better variety of goals in terms of they're more like focused and specific, and they're also in their own different categories. So for example, saying that I want to do a placement in the music or the fashion sector, for example in the fashion sector, either like buying or supply chain like related. I think it gives me a better subconscious goal, an idea of where I want to head in what direction, which kind of feeds through to the kind of placements I apply for. Last year with my old course, I found myself applying for random placements that, in the back of my head, I know I really didn't really want to apply for. So I think it's really helpful that I've kind of made my goals a bit more specific in that sense. So that was one of them. My other one is that I want to learn to DJ to a high enough standard where I can DJ at work. And that's kind of like that'd be quite a big milestone in my DJing career. Moving on to my CPD. So I've finished my 10 hours of CPD already, and they're kind of broken down into workshops, placement fairs, etc. So I attended a Harvard referencing workshop, which links back to my one of my PDP goals. That was in the library. Another one is the Accelerate events that I attend, which just kind of help show that I want to develop myself in more ways than just the classroom. And I think that looks quite good on the CV as well. Another one is going to the placement fair, which helped me make like a load of contacts and just network and kind of find out about placements and companies I want to work for. And lastly, the other 5 hours were just basically where I work and the kind of things I do there. So yeah, video.